You know what separates a championship rotation from just a collection of talented arms? It's that intangible chemistry, that feeling when everything clicks into place and suddenly five guys become something greater than themselves. Walk into the Blue Jays clubhouse right now and head to that far right corner. That's where the starting pitchers live, in their own little ecosystem away from the position players and relievers. Kevin Gausman sits there like a veteran general, battle-tested from a World Series run that left its mark on every part of his game. He's joined by Shane Bieber, Trey Yesavage, and José Berríos, but something's different this year. Two new faces have entered the fold, Dylan Cease and Cody Ponce, and here's the wild part. From across the room, you'd swear they were Gausman's brothers. Manager John Schneider couldn't help but laugh when he addressed the media for the first time this spring. They fit in well, especially with Kevin with their hair and their beards. The three of them are kind of rolling around like a rock band right now. That comment might have been throwaway for some managers, but it captured something real about what's happening in Toronto. This isn't just a rotation, it's a movement. This is the 2026 Blue Jays rotation, arguably the best in baseball, and quite possibly Toronto's golden ticket back to the World Series. Let's start with a guy who's probably taking the ball on opening day. Dylan Cease strolled into the player development complex this week, wearing a Donald Duck sweater one day and Mickey Mouse the next. In a sport where most guys live in team-issued polos and championship hats, Cease is out here making fashion statements that would get him laughed out of most clubhouses. But that's who he is, an eccentric in the best possible way. Cease admitted on Wednesday that he gets bored easily, which explains why his hobby list reads like someone trying to fill out a dating profile to seem interesting. He paints. He's obsessed with disc golf. He got into beekeeping with his father, which honestly sounds like something from a quirky independent film. These days, though, vintage clothing and cigars have taken over his life. He spends hours scrolling eBay, hunting for vintage tees and crew necks, trying to lowball sellers until he gets the deal he wants. The grin on his face when he talked about it told you everything. This is a guy who finds joy in the hunt. But make no mistake, Cease is dead serious about pitching. The talent has always been there, undeniable stuff that makes hitting coaches lose sleep. What Cease knows, what he'll tell you over and over if you give him the chance, is that talent alone doesn't separate the very good from the truly great. It's consistency. He must have said that word 15 times in his media session. Consistency in mechanics, consistency in preparation, consistency in execution. If Cease can harness that this year while keeping his personality intact, Toronto might have found their ace. Then there's Gausman, the spiritual and actual leader of this group. He's in the final year of his contract now, walking through the clubhouse with that signature long hair flowing past his shoulders like some kind of baseball sage. This is his 5th season in Toronto, and he's already cemented himself as one of the best free agent signings in franchise history. Last October, Gausman left everything on the mound. Every postseason start, he emptied the tank completely, pitching through exhaustion and adrenaline in equal measure. Gausman's role this season is fascinating because while Cease might be the new face grabbing headlines, Gausman is the heartbeat. He's the guy who will occasionally remind everyone just how dominant he can be on his best days. Those starts where he'll cruise through 8 innings like he's playing a different sport than everyone else. But more importantly, he's the timekeeper for this entire group. When things get chaotic, when the pressure mounts, Gausman is the one who keeps everyone in rhythm. Trey Yesavage represents the future, and he knows it. This kid is living every young pitcher's fantasy right now, surrounded by talent and soaking up knowledge like a sponge. The easy comparison is to Gausman. Both throw ridiculous splitters that make hitters look foolish, but Yesavage isn't limiting himself. He's working with Ponce on pitch development, picking Berríos' brain about preparation, learning from Cease about staying fresh mentally. In most organizations, Yesavage would already be thrust into a leadership role after what he did last postseason. Instead, he gets to develop with zero pressure, learning the craft while protected by veterans. That's an enormous advantage that could pay dividends for years. José Berríos doesn't need introduction to anyone who's followed baseball the last decade. La Máquina, the machine. earned that nickname through sheer reliability and tireless work. Sure, last season ended awkwardly with some tension, but both Berríos and the organization seem ready to turn the page. When healthy and locked in, very few pitchers in baseball match his consistency over a full season. He's the guy you can pencil in for 30-plus starts and 200 innings without blinking. That reliability is the foundation every great rotation is built on. Cody Ponce might be the most intriguing piece of this puzzle. The big right-hander carries himself with a personality that should make him an instant fan favorite in Toronto. He's not the star, not yet anyway, but like a great bass player, he's absolutely essential to making the whole thing work. Ponce reinvented himself overseas, first in Japan, then in Korea, completely rebuilding his arsenal and approach. The question now is whether he can sustain it over a full major league season. If Ponce can give Toronto even a league average ERA across 30 starts, this rotation becomes legitimately scary. Shane Bieber adds the final texture to this group. He's coming back from forearm issues, so the Blue Jays will bring him along carefully, but when Bieber is right, he offers something completely different from everyone else. Different arm slot, different pitch mix, different approach entirely. He's the wild card, the guy who could push this rotation from very good to historically great if his health cooperates. What makes this rotation special isn't just the individual talent, though there's plenty of that. It's the way they fit together, the complementary skills and personalities that create something cohesive. Schneider's rock band comparison wasn't just a funny line, it was accurate. Great bands need different instruments playing different parts, all working toward the same sound. That's exactly what Toronto has built here. 5 pitchers with distinct identities, different strengths, varied approaches, all unified by one goal. Championship rotations aren't assembled through spreadsheets alone. They're built through chemistry, through veteran leadership, through young talent being nurtured properly, through smart acquisitions fitting specific needs. The Blue Jays have checked every box. Now comes the hard part, proving it over 162 games, then doing it again when October arrives and the lights get brightest. This rotation has the talent. The question is whether they can create the harmony needed to climb that mountain one more time.